Adding fractions with common denominators. When adding these fractions, follow this rule. To add fractions having a common or the same denominator, keep the common denominator and add the numerators. If there are whole numbers in the problem, add the whole numbers as usual. Reduce the fraction to its lowest terms. Let's do an example of this. An apple was divided into 4 equal pieces. Jane ate 3 pieces of the apple. How much of the apple did Jane actually eat? We've got an apple here, and we're going to see if we can figure out this problem. So we're going to take our apple and divide it into the 4 pieces as Jane did. There are 2, and we'll cut each of these halves in half again. So we have 4 pieces of apple that represent the 4 quarters of the apple that Jane was eating. Now, Jane didn't find herself hungry enough to eat the whole apple, so she ate a piece, and then she ate another piece, and finally she ate this piece. But she did not finish the whole apple. Let's write symbols on the board for what that means. Jane started out by eating 1 piece of the apple. That represented 1 quarter of the apple. She picked up another piece and ate it. That represented another quarter of the apple. She picked up a 3rd piece and ate it, which represented yet another quarter of the apple. Now we can add the fractions just like this. We leave the denominators exactly the same. We're not going to do anything with them. We'll just add the numerators. 1 quarter plus 1 quarter plus 1 quarter is the same as 1 plus 1 plus 1 all over the same denominator. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3, and the denominator stays the same. So Jane ate 3 quarters or 3/4 of the apple. You can write this problem vertically as well. We can have 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. Again, the denominators stay exactly the same, and you'll just add the numerators. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. In either case, Jane ate 3 quarters or 3/4 of the apple. Let's take a look at example 2. We want to add 2 1/8 plus 3 3/8. I'll write these problems vertically as an aid to help us seeing how to add them together. We'll have 2 1/8 plus 3 3/8. Notice I'm always careful to line up my whole numbers and my fractions. I'm going to start by adding the fractions first. Since they have the same denominator, all I need to do is add the numerators. 1/8 plus 3/8 is 4/8. The denominator stays the same. I've added the numerators. Next, I'm going to add the whole numbers. 2 plus 3 is 5. So 2 1/8 plus 3 3/8 is 5 4/8. Now, we've been studying hard, so we know we don't want to leave this answer in this form because my fraction is not in lowest terms. I want to be able to reduce that fraction. I'm going to divide the numerator and the denominator by 4. So this fraction reduces to 5, and 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 8 divided by 4 is 2. 5 4/8 reduces to 5 1/2. I added the fractions by adding the fractional parts, keeping the denominator the same. I added the whole numbers and got 5, and then I reduced the fraction to get my final answer of 5 1/2.
Please pause the video now and complete the problems in your workbook. When finished, press play, and we'll continue with the next lesson.